I'll be summarizing Chapter 2, Not All Control is Coercion by Murray Sidman. Throughout the book, when he talks about behavior, he talks about how it has received bad press through popular media and the restricted world. He mentions that people fear the unknown, behavioral control, and behavioral analysis, and it frightens people. They assume control and coercion share the same meaning. How do people speak about control? They speak that they feel they lack freedom. They fear being controlled by others. And they feel that they need to protect others who they claim can't protect themselves through people that are trying to control them. However, it is a fact of life to have behavioral control. For instance, if it's cold outside, you're going to wear your jacket. If you ask for food, when you're hungry, you'll get food. It's a fact of life. He goes on to discuss about behavior, and we know that behavior is everything that we do. Social importance of behavior. Behavior is important when people have values and interests that dictates their behavior. If I want to become a better tennis player, I'm going to go practice my tennis strokes. If I want to go on a trip and I need to collect money, I might work more to go on that trip. That is all dictated through my behavior, and I get results. The people around us react to what they hear and see us participating in. Some people feel they make decisions because of feelings and thoughts. However, we know that's not true. Our actions are created by what comes after we behave. So we will continue doing something if we're getting the results that we'd like, and we'll stop doing something if we don't. Everything that we do has consequences. Coercion. What does that mean? It means to be threatened to be participating or doing something that you wish not to do out of fear. And we want to also think about a time, particularly in our life, where we did something out of fear rather than doing something because we really wanted to do it. And that would mean that was coercion. All behavior is controlled. Well, what's it controlled through? Reinforcers that follow the behavior and will cause behavior to happen again. Reinforcement comes after the behavior and increases the chances of the behavior to happen again. So for instance, if I am teaching a student a tennis stroke and I give them praise, that's great. I love that shot. I love how it went over the net. I'm giving them a praise, which is the reinforcer. The likelihood that it will come again, they have been reinforced. Undesirable replaced with undesirable behavior. If a child is participating in a temper tantrum, you have to teach them the skills they need to be able to communicate or behavior that will change the undesirable behavior. So if a kid is throwing a tantrum and rolling around because he wants a toy, we have to teach them how to tell us they want the toy. So what you are doing is you are replacing that undesirable behavior and teaching them a desirable behavior. Positive and negative reinforcement. Positive is when you add something. Negative is when you subtract. For instance, my light in the living room, when I want to turn it on to see, it's a positive. I add light. So the likelihood of me, when I need light to turn on the light switch, will happen over and over again. Now recently, it stopped working, and it took me a while, but I stopped turning on the light because it doesn't work anymore. So now I don't do it, so I don't have light, so that was subtracted from my environment. People have experienced more positive reinforcement view of life differently than those who experience negative reinforcement. And that is a lot through academics in school. Children who experience a lot of positive reinforcement in the academic world are viewing life differently than when students are experiencing negative reinforcement in their world, as well as in their home environment. Through the education system, we read a lot, we hear a lot, we see a lot, and we're involved a lot regarding high grades, and there's a lot of debates of the grading system, the testing, what does it mean for a student, the positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement. Are kids doing it because they enjoy learning and receiving that high grade and honors through positive reinforcement, and focusing more on their progression and learning, versus negative reinforcement of, oh my gosh, I'm scared, I'm threatened because I do not want to get a bad grade or get in trouble that I did get a bad grade. And those are the comparisons in the education system. Punishment is the termination of a positive reinforcer, and punishment is a production of a negative reinforcer. For instance, I take my pup. If I'm teaching my pup how to sit, I say sit, and when they sit, I give them food, positive reinforcer. If they would jump on the table and I would not give them food, it would be a negative reinforcement. Why? Is because I'm teaching them what not to do to get food. I give them food, I'm giving them something, I'm adding something, it's positive. If they jump on the table, I'm taking something away, their food, I'm not giving them. So they know that jumping on the table is not appropriate. If I would smack my dog, that would be a punishment, threatened out of fear of not having that happen to jump on the table. And those are the differences. All of our actions would be right if we were never punished for being wrong. The question I have for you today is, reflecting on your experiences in academics or sports teams, explain when your teacher or coach used positive and negative reinforcement, punishment, or coercion into their teaching practice. Explain your experience and the impact it has on you today. The references are, the book that we used today was Coercion and Its Fallout. Thanks for listening.